if you were the most unqualified person in the room, I got to be honest with you. If I was to look across the room and if I was to choose several men to do what I do, I would not choose myself. I'm not the most qualified. I'm not the most gifted. I have people in my church that are a lot more gifted than I am, that have a greater word. But yet I have found that it's not so much in the giftedness or in the talent or the ability which man is drawn to those things, whereas God is drawn to the character and the heart of a man. And I want to say something to you, because you might be sitting there right now saying, you know, I have nothing to offer. I have nothing to give. I have nothing to contribute. You don't know how bad I've blown it. And I want to tell you something. That's a lie of the enemy.
Yes, it is.
You have more to contribute and offer than what you know. And you're sitting there and you may say, you know, you don't understand. I've really blown it. And I want to tell you something. You look at the men that Jesus picked. You would almost question Jesus' ability to lead people by the men he picked. He picked Peter. He picked fishermen who had absolutely no education whatsoever. He picked James and John, who would fight with each other all the time, the sons of thunder, and literally competing constantly. He picked Judas. Judas was on that team. He picked tax collectors. You look at Jesus and you find that he picked people that you and I probably wouldn't pick. He picked the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And why that's important to me is because the Lord is looking at you and saying, you know what, you may not have everything in the world to give. You may not have degrees and everything else under your belt. You may not have all of the trappings of what man would consider to be important or the importance of it. But I want to say something to you. God has the ability to minister and use you in a mighty way if you just say, you know what, God, I'm willing to get a burden for something. I'm willing to get a vision for something. And Proverbs is very clear. It says that a man's hunger, a man's appetite will work for him.
My God.
And I got to be honest with you, as a pastor, I've had some really, really great days. I've had some really, really bad days, and I don't mind telling you, I'm an imperfect man. I'm trying to do a perfect ministry through an imperfect vessel. But I've found that in the processes of those things, that God still loves me, that God still wants to use me, that God still wants me to have a voice, that God still wants me. And I want to tell you something. Those of you that are sitting there saying, I've really messed up, I want to tell you something. You have more to say than what you believe. And I believe it's important that we strike a chord in people's hearts and minds. And as pastors, as leaders, one of the things that we've got to become passionate about is that, and you might be sitting here saying, you know what, I'm listening to you because I'm just listening to you. But to be honest with you, I really don't want to hear anything you got to say, because I've tried church. I mean, we've all been there.
Yes.
I've been to church. I've been there. They judged me. They attacked me. They criticized me. They ran me down. I